Welcome to Films and Stuff with your hosts, Pete Mitchell and Ethan Hunt.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Films and Stuff podcast. I'm Ethan, joined by the MVP, Most Valuable Pete. Hey, Pete, what's up?
Not much, buddy. How are you?
I'm good. We are in, I would not say the heart of the summer film blockbuster season, but we are definitely getting near the heart, right? Like we're the lungs.
Oh, yeah. This is it now. I think, in fact, I think July is going to be the biggest month, but I really think it, even though we count August, because of course we count August, we're pretty much 6 weeks from what I think the core of the blockbuster season winding down.
Yeah. I always consider like the pinnacle to be the 4th of July.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's just kind of like the American summer holiday. And calendar-wise, it is the midpoint of the year and of the summer. So that means we're kind of in mid-June, which means the 2 weeks running up to that is really leading up to like the crescendo, right?
Yeah.
So we've already had a few blockbusters released to some mixed reviews by you and I. And now this week, we had another big one come out, which was Steven Spielberg's Disclosure Day, which had a lot of hype online, right? I mean, it's Spielberg. It's coming in a window where nothing else was released this week. It was kind of a, is it or is it not, like a sequel or a precursor to Close Encounters of the Third Kind, right?
Yeah.
I saw it on opening night. You didn't see it yet, Pete.
I did not.
Do you mind then if I'm going to give you some spoilers and I'm going to walk through it?
Absolutely not. Please hit me.
Leading up to this, I have weird things that I panic about, but I was panicked this was going to be sold out because it was in a premium theater that has fewer seats. And I was kind of worried like, oh man, like this could sell out. It's not like a super big cinema. I was worried it was going to sell out. And this time I checked in like an hour early, not a single ticket was sold. And yeah, in fact, I saw it with 4 other people. It is a big blockbuster, so I was a little bit surprised opening night it didn't have a bigger thing. What did we know about Disclosure Day going into it?
I'll tell you what I knew, which was absolutely nothing. And I
Really?
loved that.
I feel like you know more than you think you know. Like you know something was about aliens.
Honestly, that's it, yeah.
It seems like it's a secret, but the secret's going to come out, right? So that is the plot premises. Let's go through, first of all, casting. Emily Blunt.
Yeah.
Josh O'Connor. Do you know who that is?
He was in Knives Out 3.
That's right. I remember him for The Crown, where he played a young Prince Charles.
Oh, okay.
Colin Firth, obviously also needs no introduction. Eve Hewson, do you know who this is? I know her from Bad Sisters. She's Bono's daughter.
Oh, wow, okay.
And that always is a mixed bag for me because I feel like she's got a different name, right? So in some cases, you use the family name, and in a way, you'd be dumb not to. In some cases, you are independent, but I mean, Bono's daughter is a big name, but I always kind of thought she was just a working actress, so surprise to me. Anyway, this is the plot. First of all, I watched the movie, and I watched multiple YouTube critiques of this, and I've read some online critiques. There's a lot of disagreement in terms of whether or not this is a good or not a good movie. Plot-wise, the main characters are obviously O'Connor and Emily Blunt. We meet O'Connor first, and there's kind of like a thing, and he has somehow smuggled something out of somewhere, right? It's the thumb drive, right? Although it's much fancier than that. Yeah? He's got the thumb drive, and he kind of evades Colin Firth and his crew, and he's on the run with his girlfriend. So this is the first thing. We don't know what exactly it is that he stole, and it's not like a real thumb drive. It's a very space-agey thumb drive. Some people who have been very derogatory about this movie have called it the space dildo. I think that's probably a little bit unnecessary, but you get the point. It's a thumb drive, but it's not really a thumb drive. So he's stolen this. He's on the run, and he's trying to get away from Colin Firth and his crew, who initially we think kind of work for something like the CIA or NSA or one of these like spy agencies, but it's actually kind of like an independent agency and it's got a fancy name. And we come to know that they're kind of responsible for keeping all these space or alien secrets. All right, he's on the run and he's got the information. We're not entirely sure what his thing is, but we think that he's going to try to either sell it or disclose it. Then we kind of flip to Emily Blunt, and she plays a weather newscaster in Kansas City, of all places. She somehow gets this ability, and they manifest themselves in the ability to speak other languages. Randomly, she just starts to speak to this one guy in like perfect Korean. And she like can look at people and kind of like know everything about them. She was pulled over by a police officer and she's like, hey, look, I know you're having a bad day because of your wife and blah, 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 and your kid, but don't worry about it. He loves you. This is what you should do. And like she has this ability to kind of like know everything, including like passwords and code words and everything about people. So she's on a mission to find O'Connor. She doesn't really know why, and she recognizes that she has these newfound abilities, and she also doesn't really know why. But she's just like, very similar to Close Encounters, right? Where the guy was like making you remember the thing of the mashed potatoes, and he's kind of like, I know they're coming. This is what we have to do. This is what we have to make. Remember that from Close Encounters?
Yeah.
Yeah? It's very similar to that, where like she's not like a zombie where she's not herself. She's herself. Like she knows her name and like how to drive and where she lives and everything. But she's just like, I don't know how, I don't know why, but I know I've got to meet this guy. I know where he is, and I've got to somehow link up with him. Okay. So that's kind of, I don't know if you call that the B plot or the other side of the A plot. So Colin Firth and his team of militants are trying to chase down both of these people now. And that's where the first third, the second third of the movie goes, or maybe the first third of the movie goes. Second third of the movie is Blunt and O'Connor actually get together, and he's like, I don't know who you are, but I feel like I've got to meet you. And she's like, I don't know who you are, but I feel like I've got to meet you. And he's like, this is what I'm going to do. And she's like, I'll help you, blah, blah, blah. Movie-wise, very, very entertaining. Plot-wise, it's definitely held together. And cinematically or artistically, it's a very, very good Steven Spielberg film. It's got all the close-ups and images and enough action, and it's very, very well done. Certainly, the Academy is maybe enthralled by Steven Spielberg. Definitely, if he hasn't already, deserves multiple Lifetime Achievement Awards. At this point, it's definitely a film that would gain a lot of, Academy Award fanfare, I would think.
Sure.
But let me make an aside. I think as good as this movie was so far, Act 1, Act 2, I'm into it. Not at all bored, not at all like losing interest. I'm ready to see where it goes. There are some flaws that I've chosen like while I'm watching it to just kind of like ignore. But I couldn't help thinking that if Christopher Nolan made this movie, it would have been like dynamically better. If you'd give the same movie to Christopher Nolan and be like, hey, make this movie, I feel like he would have made it way, way better. There were just like these little things that was hard to put my finger on, but they were just kind of like, I'm not really feeling that plot point, or I'm not really feeling that narrative. Like O'Connor, they didn't really flesh his story out well. Like he was a hacker and then went to prison, and then Colin Firth's organization hired him. And then he realized that what he's doing is wrong. So then he stole everything. Like, is he a nerd? And then, but, the way that he was like doing all these getaways and car chases and action scenes and stuff, it's like, he doesn't really seem like a hacker. He seems like a hacker probably isn't really good at like stealing cars and driving in chases and stuff like this.
Yeah, I mean, that's a little too Hollywood, maybe.
Yeah. So stuff like that. His girlfriend also kind of like, a little bit weird. The alien stuff was not really like fleshed out well, but I thought that it was at least kind of hidden enough that it made you like wanting more, you know, like, well, what is on these drives? What is it? I want to see it. Like, what's going on? You know, like the mystery was pretty good, but I think that Christopher Nolan could have made this like way more suspenseful than it was. Anyway, third act, I felt was really maybe not confusing, but certainly a little bit of a letdown. And I think it was a letdown for two reasons. One, how Emily Blunt and O'Connor were connected, I think absolutely made no sense. Maybe I need to watch a YouTube video on it. Maybe you can explain it to me. I was ready to say that they were maybe both aliens that were like kind of like crossbred by Colin Firth, and they both kind of escaped, and that's why they knew each other. That still may be in play. I'm not sure. Or if aliens somehow infused them with something. It was very unclear, to be honest, how these two had any connection, why they needed each other, and why it just didn't make sense, to be honest. And then the best part of kind of like alien movies is a little bit of like keeping things secret. You know, like it's very like, for example, Predator. When you don't see the full Predator, it's very powerful because you just kind of see like the jaws or the hands or the arm, and you're like, well, what does that guy look like? When you see the whole Predator, like just standing there kind of like naked, you're just like, oh.
It's a bit goofy, yeah.
You know, it's like, really? Just like we saw Project Hail Mary, or like when you see Rocky at first, like the mystery of what Rocky looks like is so good. And then when you kind of see him, it's like, all right, I get it. So I thought that there was way too much. If it was like a strip club, it was all nude. You know, like they showed the aliens. You know, there wasn't any like, oh, that's just kind of like part of the alien. You know, like they full on showed all the aliens in all their, anyway. And it was a very, if you had to draw an alien, this would be the easiest alien to draw. Like I'm sure in the history of aliens, this is an alien that everyone's drawn, right? Normal, skinny little body, big head, super big black eyes, right? That's a traditional alien, right?
Yeah.
That's exactly what it looked like. So it was a little bit disappointing that it wasn't like reimagined to be like, it wasn't like bacteria. It wasn't a blob. It was kind of exactly what we thought of. So anyway, third act, Blunt, O'Connor get together. They go to her Kansas City news station. Colin Firth tries to track them down, but, you know, somehow he's inept, and these two who have no military or ballistic or tactical training, like outmaneuver him and 100 of his troops at every point. And they get to the news station, and Colin Firth shuts everything down, so there's no electricity, so how can they possibly broadcast? Emily Blunt grabs the space dildo, and somehow that has enough power to recharge the whole station. Not clear how that works as a renewable energy source. And they broadcast everything live, and they call New York and say, hey, we're an affiliate station. We're broadcasting something really important. You should stream this also. And then New York says, hey, worldwide stations, this is really important. You should do it as well. And then basically the whole world is on their phones, TVs, mobile devices, watching all this footage being disclosed. And the footage is different footages, some of it from like Roswell and some of it from other things. And basically like everything that everyone ever believed was a conspiracy theory is now somehow filmed. And no one's ever, until now, smuggled the film out, and everyone watches it. And then there's this other like big surprise, and then that's it. What can you tell from my tone? I liked the movie. Like, it's 2.5 hours long. I was into the whole movie. Even the end, I mean, I was into it. At no point was I like, I mean, I'll compare it to like Avatar. Avatar, I'm like, come on, can we just go home? Can we just go home? Then there's that other like Adam Driver movie called like, I can't remember what it's called, like New York Maximus or something. Remember that movie? That movie I just like walked out of halfway through.
Oh my God, Megalopolis.
Megalopolis, right? Like Megalopolis, halfway through I was just like, This is just like a waste of my time. I'll eat the ticket. I can't even understand this. That's level 5 bad. Level 3 bad is, Avatar, where I'm like, I'll stick it out, but like, please end soon. This was not that at all. Like, I was into it even until the absolute last word. But after such a promising Act 1 and Act 2, I felt like Act 3 let me down a little bit. And for all the hype and all the Steven Spielberg and all the blah, 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 it's not a timeless classic.
Okay.
As big-ish, blockbuster-ish as I really wanted it to be, and there's some really, really cool things about it, I felt like somehow like that third act just didn't stitch it up right. And I really, I could not stop thinking about, like, I think of like the Christopher Nolan style of like Tenet. Like if he would have taken the same script, like I feel like his style just would have made the stakes feel higher. Like the score was not a fast-paced, like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? It was more of a, I don't know, it was just like, it was E.T.-ish. Like a very nice score and happy and okay, it's getting somewhere, but it didn't have any like sense of urgency. There was no suspense. There was no will they or won't they. Like, I don't know. There were also like some really, really good existential questions that were kind of raised that I felt like they just kind of tossed aside. So for example, O'Connor's girlfriend used to be a nun, was approaching this from like a theological aspect, which is you can't disclose this. He's like, the world should know and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, all right, well, that's your position. She's like, but just think of what you're doing to the world. Everyone who believes in God, you're basically like destroying the fabric of that society. Are people going to worship these beings now? Are people who have, always been, religious going to lose their religion? Is it going to cause identity crisis? Like, are you going to cause riots? Are you going to cause like mass panic? It's not just about the information shouldn't be secret. She's like, that's your position, but like, just think about all the harm that this could do. And she was actually very anti-revealing until the end, where somehow she changed her mind because she spoke to her mentor nun, and her mentor nun's like, yeah, it's fine, go ahead. I mean, it was just third act stuff, right? But I thought that question wasn't really fleshed out. And even from like a Colin Firth perspective, he kind of straddled the line between like, I mean, he was supposed to be a bad guy, but it wasn't really, really a bad guy. And it wasn't really clear. Like, it would have been better, like a Samuel L. Jackson would have played it like, hey, I'm doing this because people aren't ready. They can't handle the truth. I'm religious. Or like, he would have been like dogmatic about it, right? If I have to kill 10 people to keep this a secret and save 8 billion people, I'll do it. That's kind of like a Samuel L. Jackson take on it, I feel. Colin Firth was just kind of like, it wasn't clear, like, is he doing this for society? Is it just a power play for him? Is it just a game? He was a bad guy, but it didn't really seem like I understood his code of why he was a bad guy, So I want you to see it. I definitely think you should see it. I think you'll walk away with kind of the same likes and dislikes that I have.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. It's a blockbuster. Did we put it in our top 10?
It's on our top 10 list. Oh, you have it at number 8? I have it as a wild card.
Well, we're right on that. I was worried I had it like 2 or 3. It is definitely an 8 or a wild card. I'd be shocked. I don't think it's a 500 million movie. I think it's going to open a little bit strong, and everyone's going to walk away kind of like, nah, and then it's going to fizzle out really fast.
Okay.
I think 8, if I had to do it all over again, I don't know what I put for 9. I would maybe put it to 9 or 10, but I definitely would not put it higher than 8 right now.
Okay.
I'm disappointed only because I think my expectations were really high. That doesn't mean that I didn't enjoy it. I really enjoyed the movie. Like I said, I was never bored. I never considered leaving. I never wanted to go up and like get another water or popcorn or anything. I was glued to the screen, but that doesn't mean that I think it was a flawless movie. And the worst part is If you asked me to see it like, hey, I'm going to go see it tomorrow, you want to come and see it again? I'd be, nah, no thanks. All right, Pete, before we sign off, can you read off our YouTube, social media, other cred?
All right, leave a comment below, like this video, subscribe to our channel, and do not forget to hit that notification bell so that you know when the next episode of the Films and Stuff podcast drops for you.
Listeners, thank you for tuning in. We will see you next week. Next episode, Films and Stuff podcast. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Ethan. Thanks, everyone.
Bye now.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Films and Stuff. If you haven't already, please subscribe and review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever podcasts are downloaded. Films and Stuff. There is no substitute.